welcome to the non-league Goalmouth. Brought to you in association with the non-league paper. My name is Jon Couch. I'm the executive editor of the non-league paper, and obviously you might notice that Matt Babcock is not amongst us today. He's sunning himself on his pre-season jolly. So I've got two more than able companions today. John Lyons on the far side there. John is our editor of the Football League paper, which is back this week. More on that in a minute. And Matt Nash in the middle. Hello, Matt. Matt's a top London scribe, based in the Sussex area. Done a lot of work with the Metro, and he's a Millwall fan. So if a Millwall fan wants to come on, then he's more than welcome in my eyes. Hi, guys. How are we?
Yeah, morning, John.
Good. Right. Okay. Well, we got plenty coming up. The season's pretty much upon us now. We're it's been a long summer. It hasn't really. It's sort of flown by as far as we're concerned. But this week, John, you got the FLP is back after a short hiatus. Pleased to be back, mate.
Yeah, really pleased to be back. Looking forward to it. This season, a little bit of an unusual start because we've got Leagues 1 and 2 starting this weekend and the Championship the following weekend. So it's probably quite good because it just allows us to sort of ease into it.
Yeah, that's it. And obviously we've got two clubs that we know very, very well, Barnet and Oldham. Got promoted into the Football League. Barnet, I think they played the other night, didn't they? They played a Carabao Cup qualifier, didn't they, against Newport? Good game that as well. I sort of caught a little bit of it. It was 2-2. Newport scored two cracking goals, didn't they? Right, like in the first half, and Barnet scored a couple at the end and went to a penalty shootout, which Newport won. But I looked at Barnet. I thought they looked all right. I thought they looked as though they sort of adjusted to the level already.
Yeah, well, yeah, Dean Brennan's certainly been busy over the summer. He's brought a lot of players in, so I think that game against Newport probably worked out quite well for them because they could probably use it as kind of almost a warm up for the league starting at the weekend. I think originally that game was going to be middle of next week, but I think they probably thought they didn't want to start the first week of the Football League season with 3 games, so they preferred to sort of play it this midweek. And I think it's probably worked out well for them. They came back with a couple of late goals to get that draw in that game. So that will give them a bit of heart. And obviously they'll be looking forward to the weekend now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, decent game. I don't know if you caught any of it, Matt. You've been busy on your pre-season tours.
Yeah, a little bit, mate. A little bit. I did see Barnet sort of fight back a little bit the other night. Yeah, we've been trying to catch the odd game here and there. You were saying about how short the summer's kind of been. Ran into a guy called Jordan Clark, who was Red Hills manager. And of course, they had an extremely long season, almost went into June with the playoffs in the Tri-Counties League. He's now Dorking Wanderers on the backroom staff of Mark White. But yeah, not much of a summer break for some of these guys. So,
those combined counties guys, they literally had next to nothing, didn't they? They basically a month for a bit of relaxation, and then they're back into it. I touched upon Barnet. Another interesting proposition for Football League is Oldham. Obviously, got through back into League 2 on the back of that epic playoff final against Southend. How do you think they're gonna fare, John?
I think they'll be all right. Probably one of their big advantages is they've got Mickey Mellon in charge, and obviously Mickey's been around the Football League for plenty of years, so he knows exactly what's needed at that level. Again, obviously you were talking there about the short summer break. That playoff final was on June the 1st, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that sort of put them a little bit behind, but I'm sure they would have had plans in place for potentially both outcomes. So it's been a quick turnaround for them, but I think Mickey Mellon, he knows the division, he knows what he needs to do. So with the fans that they've got and the backing that they've got, you'd fancy them to do well. it does sort of bring us on perhaps a little bit as well to that crazy situation where you've got 2 promotion places from the National League, and then you've got, when they go up to League Two, you've got 4 to play with.
Sure, yeah. Yes, yeah, it's crazy. I spoke to a lot of managers the last couple of weeks, sort of adjusting to that fact. Really, I mean, obviously they know it's been there for a while now, but you know, it really has sort of become sort of part of the pre-season ritual. Really, to sort of get it in your head. You know, it is only one up. You know, there's really no rest for no rest for Wicker. Done a lot of previews this week, and there's a lot of sort of big favourites out there, but all the time where there's only one going up, there really is no respite. Matt, what's your early thoughts on Oldham, and also sort of throw it into you, sort of Carlisle United come back down from League Two. They the last time they did that was exactly 20 years ago, and they went straight back up. Can they do it again, do you think?
Yeah, I don't think you'd rule it out, would you? I mean, John will know a lot more about this than me, but you have to fancy Carlisle to be sort of fairly strong, I suppose, and have a decent chance of going straight back up. Yeah, you mentioned Barnet and Oldham as well. I like Dean Brennan. I like Barnet. I like what they do there. I think the thing is with Barnet, they'll be exciting to watch as well. They've got some really good players, haven't they? So looking forward to seeing some of them. Oldham, I know probably a little bit less about, but yeah, with the size of the club, the support they've got, surely they'll have a good chance of succeeding in League Two.
Yeah, sure. And John, I was talking to Adam Virgo this week. He's got a column in our paper, and he suggested that the National League was one of those leagues where, you know, to have that knowledge and experience of the league would be vital. Mark Hughes obviously hasn't got that. Do you think that might work against him this year?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that could be a factor. That's one of the things people have said. I mean, I think you've got to say well done to Mark Hughes, because some people would have probably said, if you had his CV, why would he want to drop down to the National League? But it's good on him that he's willing to have a go at it, and it sort of says a lot about the league as well, that you're getting people with kind of his kind of experience willing to drop down and try his luck there. So I think people would have said it might be more difficult for him to attract players there, but at the same time, Mark Hughes is a great name, and people will want to play for him. So I think they've done some good business already this summer. Obviously, they've lost a few because obviously some players wanted to stay in the league, but you would fancy them to be up there in the reckoning.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as you say, big name. It's great for non-league football. It puts bums on seats, and another man who's done that is a chap that you spoke to just a couple of weeks ago, didn't you, Matt? For us, Andy Carroll. Tell us about your meeting with Andy Carroll.
Yeah, blimey, it's a good job. Andy Carroll's about 6'6", because I saw him just about to get into his car at Wharton and Hersham when the Dagenham had played that pre-season friendly there. He was just about to go, and I had to sprint to go and get him. And he was great. He had a good chat about joining Dagenham and playing non-league, and knowing the area, knowing the club from his West Ham days. He's always kept a house there. He was great. I think he picked up an injury. I think he might have a little bit of a knock now, but he was always going to take a little while, I think, to get used to perhaps the rigours of playing non-league after coming from the French 4th division in the summer. But yeah, it's massive, isn't it, to get Andy Carroll in theory, if he can play enough games and put numbers on the crowd at Dagenham. And of course, he's got a stake in the club as well. So yeah, it's a big story for us, wasn't it, the other week? An exciting one.
Another chap you've spoken to this week is certain Mark White. Obviously, we all love Mark White at the non-league papers. Real character, great for the game. How's he doing?
Yeah, it's not probably the ideal preparation for Dorking and Mark, because he's got that 6-match touchline ban for a comment he made on the podcast last season. But yeah, Mark's in great spirits. He's always entertaining, isn't he? And he's optimistic that they'll be able to get out of the division, second time of asking this year. But what he always talks about is that bottleneck in National League South of all these ambitious clubs queuing up to get out of the division, and obviously only one goes up automatically. So when you think Dagenham are in there this year, he fancies Ebbsfleet to be strong, Maidenhead. So 3 teams coming down from National League. Worthing, a hybrid this year rather than part-time. You've got Hornchurch, you've got Chelmsford, getting good signings in and making strides. So there's going to be teams absolutely queuing up again. Torquay, obviously, in the mix. I mean, you can name so many teams in that division who would be desperate to get out of it. So, yeah, they've got a challenge on their hands, Mark and Dorking. They know that. And they made some decent signings, but kind of kept generally to what they've got, the tried and trusted. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do, having kind of just missed the title by 3 points last year.
Yeah, certainly will. And just sort of going back to National League. Obviously, we touched on Carlisle. A lot of clubs come down from League Two with a bit of baggage. Carlisle's not one of them, but Morecambe certainly are. Ongoing situation at Morecambe, John. I know you've been keeping close tabs of it. Have you got any latest for us? It's been quite a groundbreaking week, isn't it, on that front?
Yeah, well, I think obviously we've been speaking to Morecambe on a weekly basis recently, and the people at the trust have spoken really well, and obviously they're working really hard to sort of play any part that they can in trying to keep the club afloat for the coming season. So at this stage, it looks as though we're just waiting again for Punjab Warriors to complete the takeover if Jason Whittingham will agree to sign the papers. But we've been, as the trust say, that they won't believe it until they see it. So we're all in this situation. Everyone's waiting for positive news, which will hopefully be around the corner. Obviously, they've now been suspended for the first few weeks of the season as well. So that's it's a priority now that has got to be sorted out very, very quickly, or we will have that prospect that Morecambe won't be able to play in the coming season. So fingers crossed for Morecambe, because when you speak to the people from the trust, they make the point that it's not just a football club; it's a real community hub, and there's so much that goes on there. So fingers crossed it will get resolved and they can get back to playing football.
Yeah, so I mean, it was almost inevitable, really, it was going to happen. But some of the statements they put out recently, you just think, it seems like it's that far away from being resolved. If the Punjab Warriors put out a statement this week saying, "Look, we're ready. We're ready to take over, and all this can be gone straight away." It means it's not happening, and now. It's affected other clubs. So the suspension for the first 3 games, so they've now got to catch up if they get going at all. Talks of players as well getting a little bit frustrated. I must admit, I tip my cap to Derek Adams and the players that are still there, because God, what loyalty they've shown there, Matt. I mean, it's amazing. The fact they're still coming out and playing pre-season friendlies, doing well as well. I think they're still unbeaten in their 4 pre-season friendlies. They've obviously got a side there, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, you really feel for players, staff, fans in this situation, don't you? And fair play to the ones that have kept going and are willing to sort of play in this situation, really. But when the dust settles, you kind of have to look at how these owners kind of got hold of clubs in the first place and things like that, because there must be some regret there from people involved. We've seen it with Leighton Orient, with Bury. There's so many clubs. There's always one, isn't there? I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, I suppose, is another club with big problems at the moment in the Championship. But yeah,
so we can talk about him now. Matt's not here.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yes, indeed. Where'd you say he's sunning hillsmouth? Is he?
I don't know, actually. I think he's just having a bit of time out with the kids. But he won't be enjoying the news at Hillsborough this week, will he?
No, exactly. No, it's grim there, isn't it? I mean, I think they've condemned part of the ground now, haven't they, at Hillsborough as well? So doesn't get any easier there. It's it's terribly sad, and we all know it could all be our club. It's just it's almost just pot luck of which owners you get and who turns up where sometimes, isn't it? And it's how they get into these hands, which is the sad thing and the dangerous thing. Because Jason Whittingham and Morecambe is just going to be one of those stories that goes down as a cautionary tale for clubs in the future, I think.
Yeah, just always seems to be something, John, doesn't there? There's always something. There's always one club that are struggling at any one point. It's a real problem, isn't it?
Yeah, you do have to feel a little bit sorry for the National League, because they do tend to get the kind of basket cases from the Football League. I mean, to be fair, the Football League have had their critics as well. People say maybe they could have done more. Over the years, the last few years that Morecambe have been in the problems, though. Obviously, when it comes down to if the owner's there and he's the owner of the company and he refuses to sell, obviously they can put certain sanctions in place, but it's very difficult. And again, credit to the players, because some of them, they haven't been paid and other staff haven't been paid, or they've got a third of their wages. Again, it's very difficult. Obviously, football operations have now ceased for the time being as well. So everything's up in the air. And again, really, it's a case of hoping that Jason Whittingham will finally sort of do the right thing and sell up and let someone else have a chance to run the club properly.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that the FA governance bill, how that affects things. Talking of FA, we've got the FA Cup this week. It's a special weekend for clubs at steps 5 and 6. It's the extra preliminary round, starting pretty early again, August the 1st. Friday night is the first game. So there's a few matches taking place. Big weekend for these clubs, Matt, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I think we were talking about it last time I saw you. I think the winners get £1,125 on Saturday in the extra preliminary round. Sorry, this weekend. It's a massive incentive for clubs, isn't it? I can remember when it was maybe a few £100 or something at this early stage. So to have such a big sum available for clubs, some of whom I think are step 6, that's an enormous sort of amount of money that can pay for so many sort of things during the season for them. It sounds silly, but by winning that one game, there's so much at stake really this weekend for those clubs. So yeah, great to see it back. It seems to come around earlier and earlier, as it were, but a lot of interesting ties, and there'll be a lot of clubs experiencing the FA Cup for the first time this year, which is great.
Yeah, it comes. Sorry, John.
Yeah, just going to say, one person I spoke to last week, Daryl Jelly at Eversley in California.
Yeah, the club I know well.
I mean, they're back in the FA Cup. I think he said it was the first time in 8 years. So they're absolutely loving it. They've got, I think it's Horndean they're playing in the cup this weekend. So when you speak to some of the managers at step 5, the excitement for the FA Cup to have an extra preliminary round tie, is incredible, and it means so much. As Daryl was saying to me, it's not just for the club; it's the whole community gets involved in it. Fingers crossed for the Boars, and obviously everyone else competing at the weekend as well.
Yeah, I mean that's a typical fairy tale story. As I say, it's a club I know very well. A good friend of mine's just gone in as coach, Luke Wheeler, and they've just been promoted, and they're enjoying life at the moment, and in step 5, and good luck to them. I mean that's a real FA Cup. Real FA Cup yarn. The FA Cup, incidentally, is going to be at Harwich and Parkston tonight. So the big event going on there. It's the club's 150th anniversary. We'll have a few details on that in the NLP on Sunday. It's 75 days then since Crystal Palace lifted the FA Cup for the first time. The FA Cup always brings back memories for a lot of fans. Matt, what's your FA Cup? Well, we'll start with you, Matt, and then we'll go through to John. What's your your personal FA Cup memories over the years?
There's only one which stands out head and shoulders above the rest. Millwall beating Sunderland at Old Trafford in 2000. What was it? 2005. 2004. To reach the final. So that that was sort of our final, really, because we ended up playing Man United in the final.
That's right, I remember, yeah.
They were rather good. They still had a certain Cristiano Ronaldo then. They were quite a good side. So beating Sunderland was our final. Yeah, that was a special day. So yeah, that's the main one for me, really.
Yeah, you, John.
Yeah. One I just pick out maybe on a little bit of a non-league theme would be when Havant and Waterloo went up to Liverpool in the FA Cup back in, I think it was 2008. You know, I was lucky enough to go to that game, and when Richard Paquette scored that goal after about 5 or 6 minutes, and the cop went quiet. That was just amazing for for a National League South side to do that. And obviously they lost 5-2 in the end, but what a performance they put in, and I think even the the Liverpool fans were applauding them for the way they played. So that's a great memory.
Yeah, no, similar to mine. I mean, mine was watching Farnborough at Aldershot. At Arsenal. Drew him at Highbury. It turned out to be Graham Wesley's last game at Farnborough. What a couple of weeks that was. They were everywhere, all over the headlines, and they went on a pre-season, went on a pre-game tour to Spain, and they had new sponsors, where the Sun was sponsoring them, and it was just, the build-up was huge. And went to Arsenal, and Arsene Wenger just picked this amazingly strong team, and it was bizarre to watch. It really was. And I went down to 10 men in about 25 minutes, and it was game over, really. Well, from there, and they lost 5-1, but I always remember that. I mean, that Rocky Baptiste scoring for Farnborough that day, and I think even though they did lose 5-1, it's probably the most famous goal Farnborough have ever scored. But there's been a few recently. We've had Bournemouth at Everton. We've had Maidstone at Coventry. Sutton have played Arsenal as well. Tamworth, Tottenham. I mean, what a day that was. I was lucky enough to be there in January. So these FA Cup fairy tales do still happen, and there'll be some teams out there sort of hoping it's their year, Matt, won't they?
Absolutely. What a shame Tamworth didn't get a replay out of that, by the way. But that's another.
Yeah, well, that's one for another day, maybe. But I mean, God, they deserved it, and can you imagine getting a replay at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and in front of 60-odd thousand, and I think that'd be.
Yeah, I was fortunate to be sitting next to Andy Peakes at our National Game Awards this summer, and he did speak very highly of Tottenham and the manager there and the players as well. How well they sort of treated them and looked, helped them out as well and stuff. So Andy's done a phenomenal job over the last few years to take Tamworth from step 3 to step 1. They had a brilliant season obviously in the league and the cup last season. So he's obviously got he'll have a bit of rebuilding to do again, because he kind of loses some of his best players, and wage wise they probably can't compete with the biggest teams in the National League. So but you can sort of back Andy to pull out all the stops to do some good business again before the kickoff. Yeah,
that's right. He's got he's got a tough season ahead of him, but they all have, really. I mean, the National League seems very, very tight this year. 9 days away is the big kickoff. From steps 1 to 4. Anyone you particularly looking forward to seeing this year? I'm thinking sort of maybe like steps 3 and 4, the Isthmian, Northern Premier and Southern Leagues are ready to kick off. Matt, anyone sort of caught your eye really over the summer?
Yeah, I quite like Aldershot. The FA Trophy winners have had a good pre-season. Interested to see a bit more of them, and if they can kind of push on under Tommy Widdrington this year in National League. But yeah, step 3 and 4. I think Whiteleaf and Jersey Bulls in Isthmian League are going to be of interest, because they obviously both had to fight really hard to get promotion in the first place. A season that seemed it would never end. And now they're actually at step 4. How are they going to do? First time for Jersey at that level. First time for the new Whiteleaf, the reborn club at that level. I think it's going to, I'm going to try and get down to some games with both of them. I think I'm interested to sort of see how they do. Elliot Powell, good manager at Jersey Bulls, good young manager. And Kelly Waters has stepped down as joint manager at Wiley for concentrating on the chairmanship.
Yeah,
but
great character.
Yeah, great character. Two very good football clubs, but are they going to push on again? Are they going to be able to go through step 4 to step 3? I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks. Or are they going to find this, a big step up? So, excited to see. Because obviously Jersey, there's only so much they can do over there in terms of recruitment. Each level they kind of go to, as Guernsey have found, I think, over the years as well. Really, they don't really play many friendlies because there's only the island teams they can play. Don't really sign any players. You kind of got to go with what there is on the island. So, what can Elliot sort of come up with, I suppose, at Jersey is the question for him and for their fans. But they've got a brand new pitch at Springfield Stadium for this season. They'll have sold out ground for every home game, I'm sure. So looking forward to seeing them in action.
Yeah, it's fascinating. John, what's you built? You've been speaking to a lot of managers over the summer. Anyone caught your eye?
Yeah, well, I think one team to keep an eye on probably in Isthmian North, Malden and Tiptree.
Yeah, of course,
because they've made some big signings, including bringing in the former West Ham striker and Ipswich Freddie Sears.
Freddie's there.
So Freddie, your Ipswich old boy, is there, and they've also got Elliot Justin in from Dagenham Redbridge, who was their keeper for many years. So they've brought in some players. Yeah, so they've got some players who've played sort of obviously much higher levels in the past. They're obviously going for it, and sometimes obviously that puts a target on your back. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fare in that division.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Wales Bedford. They've obviously, I think they're looking for their fourth promotion. I think it might even be fourth promotion. They've been absolutely flying. We'll find it tough in that southern league. It's there's some big clubs in there, but it'd be interesting to see if they can if they can push on any further. I think it's going to be a big test for them. But no, I think it'll be great to see sort of how many clubs. Sort of Corn's another one, for example. They're on a quest for a wave at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see how far they go. But obviously that's for next week. We're going to concentrate on this week, and we had the set 5 and 6 leagues starting last week. We had football in July, which was nice to be able to report on it. John, you were in the office with me on Saturday. Anything catch your eye? Craig Westcar, what a way to get yourself on the front page of a national paper at the age of 40.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, that was a great story. So Craig Westcar, ex-Notts County, Nottingham Forest, and quite a few other clubs, but still going strong at 40 and 4 goals. First game of the season for Sherwood Colliery. That was brilliant, and obviously we were lucky enough to get some great pictures from that. That was in the United Counties ground hop as well. So those supporters who got along to that game certainly got their money's worth. And it goes to show that there's a lot of players out there who still love playing the game, whatever their age. And players, if they look after themselves right, they can seem to go on even longer and longer these days.
Yeah, that's it. And Matt, you're obviously with us as well. You're key member of the team on a Saturday. Can you just sort of tell everyone sort of what it's like? I mean, we mentioned it a few times, but those stories emerging, and then that sort of time just before we go to print and deciding what goes where. It's that newsroom buzz, really. I mean, it's probably not quite the same as it was a few years ago. I think it's probably fair to say, but still there, isn't it? And that's why we do what we do, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's hard to describe it without swearing. I think I don't want to turn the air.
Yeah. I feel like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, you guys have it harder because you're on it literally all day. But yeah, it's a real kind of buzz, isn't it, as everything's coming in, especially at this early stage of the season. I think when you're reading about teams for the first time and how they're getting on, quite often when their early reports are coming in, and you're kind of mapping out in your head, oh, this team are doing well. Let's see how they do next week. You're kind of following their stories throughout the early weeks. It's quite exciting. It's fresh. Another new season, and you're kind of learning about this manager or this player, seeing what the early stories are coming out of this club or this league. And yeah, it's quite sort of chaotic, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. It's what it's all about, isn't it? It's what we're all sort of in it for, that kind of chaotic buzz, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to come off topic just a little bit before we wrap up. I think we need to mention the Lionesses, don't we? I mean, they wow. I mean, what a performance on Sunday, beating Spain on penalties. Back to back European champions. Chaps, did you see the game?
Yeah, certainly did. Yeah, certainly did. What a great performance. And Chloe Kelly, fairly local to me, from the girl from Hamwell. What a star she's been with the penalties, and certainly a player for the big moments, big occasions. And I know they had big celebrations last midweek when she scored that winning penalty against Italy in the Hamwell Town Clubhouse. So they were obviously delighted for her as well. So yeah, great to see her and everyone else perform so well on the biggest stage there.
Yeah. How about you, Matt?
Big
Were
celebrations too.
you there cheering?
Mate, absolutely loved it. Well, it does make you think, if you're someone like Chloe or Leah Williamson and you've won the Champions League with Arsenal, back-to-back European titles with your country, you're mid to late 20s. What do you do now? Where do you go? Like, I know there's a World Cup to go and win in a couple of years' time now, but
we're in England, we wouldn't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got to be really motivated to keep going after winning so much stuff if you're Arsenal and England players, really. So, but no, they were great, weren't they? Somehow kind of got through. I didn't feel we played at all well in the in the knockout stages, but sort of ground it out, didn't we? And we just took the slightly better penalties in the end. Yeah,
certainly did. But I was talking to Dave Kitson this week, the former Reading and Cambridge striker. He's a manager of the Maidenhead United women's team, and he was saying that he hopes that like the legacy now could stretch, because there's one area of the game that does need improving, and that's the number of coaches that are coming through in the women's game. There's a real dearth of women coaches, and hopefully now the Lionesses' success can help inspire a lot more female coaches to come through and get involved in the game. So really nice piece in this week's NLP. John, anything we could look out for in the FLP this week?
Well, we're going to obviously have sort of bumper reports on obviously those League 1 and 2 games. We've got a big feature with Dean Brennan as well. So that's a good one for those Barnet fans who are sort of going from the National League to the Football League, from the NLP to the FLP. So we might bring a few readers across from the
stolen our main contact.
Yeah. So Dean's always good value for. I know Matt Badcock spoke to him a lot last season. So Dean's good value. So I think we're glad to have him in the Football League. And obviously we'll be looking at a lot of the transfers that have taken place over the summer. And obviously we need to look ahead to the Championship, which is starting the following week. And again, it's going to be interesting to see in that division how Wrexham get on, having come out of non-league so recently and stormed up the divisions. Yeah,
just signed Nathan Broadhead from Ipswich. Well, apparently on the verge of being done for £7.5 million, which is a great deal for them. Nathan's a really good, excellent player, and I think
that shows the market that they're in now, and obviously the jump probably from League 2 and League 1 up to the Championship. They're having to splash out more money now to bring in these players that they need to compete at that level.
It's incredible, really. I'd say it wasn't long ago that they were really struggling in the National League and sort of going nowhere. Really, I think they were there for about 13 years. So they were the longest stayers in the National League. And now look at them, Matt. They're in the Championship, and obviously Hollywood money, but Hollywood fairy tale as well.
Yeah, very much so. And I suppose the question on everyone's lips is: are they just passing through the Championship as well this year? Just exactly how much money are they going to spend in the next few weeks? How determined are they to get into the Premier League? I mean, the story just keeps going and going. But their recruitment has been great so far through the divisions. We'll see what I guess their team's going to look like next weekend in the Championship now, and exactly how competitive they're going to be. Are they going to go for it again?
Yeah. Gibbs non-league clubs, especially at the moment with a lot of money flying around. They have sort of set the bar, haven't they, now? And there's a number of clubs like you've spoken about earlier. The Kuwaitis at Dagenham probably being one. They probably fancy themselves to go on a similar journey, but not easy, is it? Even the Hollywood team at Wrexham would accept that there's been a few bumps along the way. But that's why we love the English pyramid, isn't it, John?
And obviously, they've been clever as well, because probably bringing in Phil Parkinson was probably the best decision that they made to let him just get on with managing and recruiting players. And obviously 3 promotions in a row is unheard of. So it's been a phenomenal rise, and they people say, oh yeah, Wrexham got the money and stuff, but yeah, fair play, they've used it the right way as well.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, we wrap it up there. Thanks ever so much, chaps. It's been an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to the weekend. I think you're both with us, and both. We're all office bound, I'm afraid, this week. So hopefully it all rains on you. No, I'm only joking. It'll be a great weekend. Lots of FA Cup action, and make sure you go out and support your local team. Give us a load of likes and subscribes and everything, and all the bump that goes with that. It's always very much appreciated. Matt, John, thank you ever so much, and we look forward to speaking to you next week.
Cheers, chaps.
Cheers.
Bye.